Perfect. So we are recording.
Okay,
So,
great.
magic. So today I am absolutely delighted to be joined by Akanksha, who is one of our MSc Management Strategy students from the DCU Business School. Thanks for taking the time to chat to me today.
Thank you, Colum. It's really great to have speaking with you, and you know that I love speaking with you and talking about my experience, and it makes me really happy to do that.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to delve into here a little bit. But I suppose for those people watching this, where are you from yourself, Kanksha?
So I am from India. I'm from state Maharashtra.
Very good. And
Yes.
you came to Ireland in September of last year, correct?
Yes, September 2019.
Okay. So I
Yes.
suppose when did you start thinking about studying abroad and what were the factors you considered and why did you settle on Ireland?
So this is something that was in my mind from the time I was doing my bachelor's. I had it in the back of my mind that master's is something I would want to go outside, get the exposure of the outside world, and do it my master's from some other country. I wouldn't say I was sure about what country I would go in, but I was sure that I have to do my postgraduate from somewhere outside. So I can say that it was in my mind from, say, 2, 3 years. And I actually started working on it as soon as I graduated from my bachelor's. That was 2018. So honestly, it does take a lot of research because postgraduate is something that's a really important decision of your life. You cannot just go for something without having too much research into it. So yeah, it did take me a whole year to figure out what am I gonna do, where am I gonna do, what university would I select, and what course I would be enrolled in. So that did take a lot of time.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You have to do your research. You have to know
Yeah,
what it is that you're getting into to make the right decision so that it's the best
absolutely.
possible fit. So
Yes.
you decided to come to Ireland, to come
Yeah.
to DCU and to study in the business school. And I suppose
Yes.
what were the factors that were the deciding factors in you making that decision?
So, first of all, when I thought about doing my post graduation, I was specifically thinking of doing a 1 year master's course. And as many of them would be aware who are planning to come outside or have been studying here, that UK and Ireland are the only countries that offer 1 year master's course. So that part really attracted me that in 1 year we could be done with our masters and start working and get the head start for our career. So that was the thing that attracted me the most. And I did a lot of research when someone suggested to me that Ireland could be one of the option. And I loved the courses here. I went through all the colleges and the quality of education. I went through the courses, the modules that were offered. And I read a lot of things about Ireland, how the living is, and stuff like that. So it all, to be honest, it all just felt right then, and it was all favorable, and then it just worked out for me. All the things that I was looking for was in Ireland. So that made made me choose Ireland for.
Excellent. And I suppose then take yourself back maybe to kind of this time last year and you were getting ready to come to Ireland. And I suppose, can you talk to me a little bit about that moving to a new country and a new continent and what that was like, what making that transition?
Yeah, honestly, it's a lot actually, the culture differences and everything. But then what really helps is having your research done, reading a lot of things that uh, when you shift to some other country, not everything is new for you. You have to be a bit aware of the things so that you face a bit less problems. So I just did my research, may it be accommodation or just getting things around or the transport and all the general things. And it was definitely overwhelming coming to a whole different country, but I would surely say it was exciting, and the people were very warm and welcoming, and it was really great actually.
Well, I'm glad that you had a positive experience upon
Yes,
arriving in
definitely.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me, I suppose, a little bit about, settling into academic life at
Mm-hmm.
DCU and what that was like? Was it different from what you had experienced in
Mm-hmm.
India? And how did you get on with that?
So, Colum, to be really honest, the part that I felt was a bit difficult for me was the academic part, because that is something that is really different in what I studied in India, basically. And yeah, it was totally different. And then back in India, we just had exams and less of the assignments and then the lessons in the books. But then when I came here, it was a lot different. The concepts and everything that were covered in the modules were covered through case studies, and my course was something that had a lot of assignments and less of exams part. So yeah, that was something that was really challenging at first, like the writing style and what exactly the professors are expecting out of you, and yeah, all these things. And of course then when it comes to writing assignments, there's plagiarism and stuff, which was completely new, and I'm really sure each Indian student would definitely agree on this point. So that's something that was challenging, but then the professors have been really helpful. They understood that it is difficult for us students, and they would take the time out after the lectures to explain us how exactly things work and what are they expecting out of us. And semester one for me was a bit difficult when I was just adjusting to the new course, to the new culture and everything. But then compared to that, semester two is really going great, because now I know what exactly the things are and what do professors expect and how the course and everything works. So this semester is really going great for me.
That's good to hear. And I think challenge and overcoming challenge is something that's really important for
Yes,
people, because it is something when you start a new job, there will be challenges and there will be challenges
yes,
throughout your career. So overcoming challenges shows, that you're capable of doing that. And I think will stand to you in the long run. And I think, it's good for people watching, I suppose, to hear that lecturers are approachable and they will help you. I
definitely,
mean, you will have to make efforts yourself, but with
definitely.
their help you can overcome. So
Yeah,
I suppose
definitely.
then, looking outside of DCU but at maybe Dublin and at Ireland, what are some of your favorite things that you have been able to do and experience during your time in Ireland?
I cannot even get started. I mean, the last few months have been like a roller coaster ride. Like, I haven't lived so much in past so many years that I've lived in past few months, and the culture is so different. In the weekends, you would find everyone just enjoying their time outside and stuff. And I'm personally someone who loves nature, the beauty, mountains, and all these things. And Ireland is just surrounded by all these things. And the best thing is that in your weekend, you would just have to travel for like few hours, and you would be in someplace magical. So that's really great. Me and my friends, we used to go to some places around Dublin, like Howth and Bray, and then it was really beautiful. And that's the part you wouldn't just even imagine, that in few hours you would just feel like you're in completely different place. So that was my favorite part. We used to spend our weekends enjoying in the nature. Yeah.
Very good. I'm glad to hear that you took advantage of that, because that's something I love to do as well. And I
Yeah.
think we're very fortunate in Dublin because we have such a good public transport
Definitely.
infrastructure.
Yes.
You,
Yes,
you can
that's
hop
something.
you can hop on the bus, you can hop on the DART, the light rail system,
Exactly.
and you can be out in those places in a really short space of time for not a lot of
Exactly.
money. And
Exactly.
you go from this like cosmopolitan city. I know in an Indian context, Dublin would seem quite small. It's only 1.4 million people, and you compare that to maybe Mumbai or Delhi, and obviously it's very
Yeah.
small. But in an
Yeah.
Irish context, it is a big, bustling city, and then suddenly you're out in Hoth and you're the cliffs, or
Exactly.
it's beautiful. So I'm
It's
glad that,
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah,
you got the chance to experience that. And
exactly.
I suppose then, looking ahead to the next batch of students who will be coming to
Mm-hmm.
study at DCU, and obviously we now live in a COVID-19 world, and
Mm-hmm.
you had to go through that transition to
Mm-hmm.
online learning, and a really unexpected and quick turnaround back in March. What was that experience like for you?
So to be really honest, many people think that this situation uh, is like they consider it to be negative, but then for me, it had its good advantages as well, because when the lectures were online, definitely missed going to university, having physical classes, meeting friends, and using the library and stuff like that. But when you have the lectures online, you actually save a lot of time traveling and doing all these things, and you have a lot of time saved with you to do other activities, like put a lot more into the assignments and carry on your other activities with you. So I took it in that sense, that for me it really saved a lot of time in that sense. And then I think online lectures were good, wasn't like a big difference or something. I mean, um our course was something that was not really affected, because we had our assignments, and that didn't really make any changes, because then we didn't have any exam this semester. So there was not any major change in my course, and it went smoothly, I suppose. Yeah, there wasn't anything that I thought is not working.
Oh,
So it was a good experience for me. But I would like to say that DCU has been really great in handling all these situations from the very beginning. They have made each and everything really clear. There's nothing that is hidden from the students. There is nothing of that sort. From helping the international students to making things clear that if they plan on moving back to their country, how would the course be going, and everything was made really clear. And even for the students, I have some of my friends living on the campus accommodation, and even for them everything was really clear. There was not anything uncertain that might happen. So I'm really glad that DCU took this charge to make everything clear to the students, and I think that's really great.
that's good to hear. I certainly would commend the senior management at DCU. I think they have done a really good job at
Yeah.
communicating
Yes,
clear messages to both staff and to students, and to putting
definitely.
the welfare of students at the center of every decision that they have
Yes.
made. So
Yeah.
kudos to them. And I know as well, though, you continued even maybe a little bit outside of the classroom as such, but you were participating in an online event yesterday with groups of students, and you came second in the competition. Isn't that right?
Yes, 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 that's right.
Tell me a little bit about how that actually worked. How did they get the groups together?
So, talking about the course I selected, Colum, it's the best decision that I have ever made. I haven't come across a module where you actually get to work with real companies to apply all the theories and stuff like that. And it's just not one module. We had chance to work with so many companies in different modules, and this was part of our module that we were given a startup company to work on with as a consultant, and we had to um, get over help them get over the challenges that they are facing. And we came up with few recommendations, and then from DCU we had few teams, and then we had to present it on what recommendations we gave. Then few teams were selected from DCU and few teams were selected from TU Dublin, and then yesterday we came along together and had 6 minutes to present our elevator pitch, in which we had to cover everything, that how we are planning to help that company. And then we came second, and that was really really great, because first of all, that was a startup company, and in situations like these, it is really hard for them to stand up on their own and cope up with these situations. And I think because we won prize and they got some funding out of it, it would really get their business going, and we really wanted to do that for them. So that was like a big win.
Excellent. And I think it's great that that's still able to go on, even though, we are online, and it shows what can be done
Yes, yes,
online.
yes, yes,
And
definitely.
you can bring
Definitely.
people together. So that's great. And then I suppose as we begin to wrap up, I'd be interested to hear what advice you would have to incoming international students. Is there anything you would recommend that they see or do? Obviously, they should do their research. I think that came across strongly from what you
Yes,
were saying
yes,
earlier. But
yes,
anything else
definitely.
you would say to them?
So I would just like to say that it is really important to do your research, know exactly what you're getting into, the course and everything. Just go through it once, and then you don't have to trust everything that is online, because it's definitely not everything is true. You just don't have to jump on conclusions for things. You have to have your own research, because when we come to study in some other country, it gets really overwhelming with all the comments online, and then the advices from the consultancy firms. But then you should have your own decision. You should know what exactly you want. So I would just like to say that research is the key that you have to have your own research, and then read a lot of things. And then it is definitely important to go through the courses and what it has planned in the year. And then it is also important to enroll into the courses which also has extracurricular activities, not just the academic part. Because for management students, I would definitely recommend having some extracurricular activities as well. It shouldn't be just the studies part. So it's really important uh, in that sense. And then I would just like to say that the way Ireland and DCU has handled this situation, it's been really great. I don't think I faced any problem like when the COVID-19 situation was just starting. I was a bit hesitant because many of the students plan to obviously go back to their home country. So even I was really hesitant and split if I should stay here or go back. And then I decided to stay here, and I was really hesitant, and even my parents were a bit worried. But then I think that it has been really great so far, and I don't regret my decision at all.
Good. I'm glad to hear that you feel you made the right decision in staying on it. I suppose I can understand students made different decisions, and hopefully
Yes.
whatever the decision students made, they feel it was the right one for them. And I think what you said there about extracurricular activities is so
Mm-hmm.
important. I think that you need to have a focus on your academics, certainly,
Exactly.
but I do think having a life outside the classroom, and following your passions and maybe trying something new. So getting involved with clubs and societies or
Exactly.
volunteering opportunities, whatever it is.
Because
Stu-
you
go
would never know what experience it has. It has a lot of experience. It has a lot of things you would learn at the end if you look back at your journey. Because you have academics, and then you have the practical things and extracurricular activities. It just develops you uh, into a good person.
Yes, no, it does. It's a holistic approach, and I think that's really solid advice for the incoming cohort. I think we've given them plenty of food for thought today, and I
Yeah.
just want to thank you for taking the time to join me.
Thank you, Colum. Thank you. That was really great.